This week our video is on fueling and hydration for our runs. As we begin to run longer, fueling and hydrating before our runs, during our runs, and after our runs becomes a bit more important. As we get into our longer runs, you might find yourself becoming a bit more fatigued, you might feel a little bit weak, and proper fueling and hydration can help us feel a bit more prepared for our long runs. So this week's video is going to be a little bit shorter just because I will be speaking to you rather than demonstrating and speaking. So yeah, grab a tea, grab a water, and let's get into it. So first I'm going to be talking about fueling. And what I mean by that is just eating a little bit before our runs and a little bit after our runs, and ultimately it comes down to what best agrees with your stomach. One reason as we get into our long runs it becomes more important for us to eat beforehand is simply because it gives us some blood sugar. If you run in the morning, this is great because you have been sleeping all night and it's nice to have a little bit of something that your body can go to for energy. So yeah, I would say eating 1 to 2 hours before your long run. I know that can be tricky, especially if you're running in the morning and you have work and things like that. So if you're really pressed for time, half an hour, just as soon as you wake up, have a little bite, and then let it settle a bit before you get into your run. And I would just eat foods that agree with your stomach. There's no special food that I think you need to eat, just something that will not upset your stomach while you're running. So some examples of that is something light, low fat, low fiber, so bananas, toast, and applesauce. I personally will sometimes eat half a banana if I'm pressed for time, or half a piece of toast with a little bit of peanut butter on there. But play around with it, you'll find what feels good for you. And the reason I like to include applesauce is sometimes for myself, if I'm not hungry, but I know I should have something before a run, applesauce, just because it's quick, it tastes good, it's easy. It makes it a little bit easier to get it down before I go for my run. And then after your run, I would say make sure you're refueling shortly after, within half an hour window. It can be as simple as chocolate milk, or if you're ready to have breakfast, just start making breakfast after you've done your cool down. And for hydrating, so staying hydrating helps us replace the water we lose while we're sweating. It helps prevent cramping, heat exhaustion, and heat stroke. And it delivers nutrients to our cells and keeps our organs functioning. So it's pretty important for daily life and also for running. Of course, as we are in winter currently, some of this becomes even more important for summer running or when the weather gets hot. So whether it is winter for you currently or summer for you currently, pay attention and revisit this as the weather changes. So yeah, pre-run, again, I would say 500 milliliters 2 hours before. So I like to just keep my water bottle right beside my bed. I'll have a couple drinks when I wake up, and then I always like to have coffee before my run just because that's the routine I'm in now. So I'll always make sure I'm drinking water and coffee at the same time. And then right before you head out the door, just 150 milliliters is really all you need. So a small glass of water. I just take a couple swigs from my water bottle, and that's enough to make me feel good. One thing I will say is, as we are running in the heat, making sure your water intake throughout the day also drastically helps us when we're running. So making sure you're staying hydrated during the day, always kind of having a glass of water nearby. I love water. If you follow me on Instagram You will see that I always have my water bottle with me. If you come to my classes, I'm always drinking water. So it's kind of just second nature to me now, but always having it nearby, I find really helpful to stay hydrated. And then post run, same thing, aiming for 500 milliliters. So I always like to just drink water while I'm making my breakfast, as I prefer to run in the morning. So yeah, always making sure my water bottle is full is really helpful for me. And one thing to note as we get into our long runs, so 60 minutes or longer, it's really important that we're also replacing our electrolytes. One way to know if you are experiencing low electrolytes is if you are feeling sick, weak, or you have a headache. And a quick way to replace electrolytes is just having a glass of juice with a little bit of salt in it to help replace our electrolytes that we've lost. And then another thing or product that you can have is our Nuun tabs, so N-U-U-N. There are a variety of brands, but they're pretty common. I think you can find them in grocery stores, running room, Mac, really any outdoor recreation sports store will have them. Those are just a tablet that you add to your water, and it provides sodium and electrolytes to help us replace those. Yeah, that's it. Fueling and hydration for running. It's a little bit of a shorter video. And yeah, a lot of it can just be playing around with seeing what feels good for you. Some people like to carry a water bottle with them. I love to do that in the summer. I find in the winter I'm okay without water, but it all comes down to what you personally like and what feels best for you and your body. So as with all things with running, playing around and seeing what works best for you is key with fueling and hydration. I hope this helped you maybe clear up a little bit. I hope this gave you some ideas of proper hydration or inspired you to have your own water bottle that you always have on hand. And yeah, I will see you next week. Happy running.